Hey everyone, and welcome to the 35th episode of the Ask Jeff Show. And for all my American friends, I just want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. And I wanted to thank all of you for watching and supporting the Ask Jeff Show over the last 35 episodes over this year. And I love all the feedback that I've been getting, and we will be continuing the Ask Jeff Show going forward. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the future episodes. So we have 3 brand new questions for you guys this week. And the first question is, this person wants to know what's the best way to incorporate the nutrition aspect into their training program. And they also want to know how can they make money off of it. So as far as the nutrition goes, we use that as a value add when we're selling, because most fitness programs don't include nutrition. They always want to charge for it. So just by adding, so just we're talking about nutrition. So you want to have some kind of nutrition aspect included in your program. So you're going to include it, it's going to be as a value add. And you're going to be able to price justify that. Because with one-on-one training, if they want to sit down and talk to their trainer about their nutrition, it would either cost one of their sessions or it would eat into one of their workouts, and they wouldn't be able to go, sit down and go over their, their diet or whatever. So with our programs, we include it. They get unlimited consults. So as many times they need to sit down with us to go over their diet, they can. Now with our regular, program, we don't get too crazy with what we offer, just because most people coming in, just starting a workout is a big change for them. So getting them to come in 2 to 3 times a week, consistently is a big change. To tell them to totally, start weighing their food, start, prepping their meals on Sunday, it's just too big of a change. Most people aren't going to be able to keep up with that, and they fail. So we keep it simple. So just keep it simple. And we give them a food list, as you guys have heard before, of what they should or shouldn't eat, and just keep it really simple. And after the initial consultation, we have them start journaling what they're eating. So we make it a rule that they have to write down what they ate before they eat it. So that way, everything they eat is a conscious decision, it's not subconscious. So we have them write down what they eat before they eat it. And in order to get the unlimited consults, they have to have at least 3 to 4 days worth of food journals that are listed out. We try to have one day, be on the weekends, because everybody eats differently on the weekends than they do during the week. So then in order for them to come in for the follow-up consultation, if they're not getting good results, they have to bring in at least 4 days. And then we go over their, so we have their food journal, at least 4 days worth of meals or worth of food listed out. And then we go over it line by line. And when we go over line by line, we pick out all the things, obviously the things that they shouldn't be eating, cross it off. But you can't just cross off tell them they shouldn't be eating this, shouldn't be eating this, shouldn't be eating this, because you have to tell them what they need to add in its place. So a lot of times people aren't getting enough greens. So we let them know, you're not getting enough green leafy vegetables in your diet. What you need is a greens drink or greens supplement. And then that gives you the opportunity to make revenue by selling them, a really good greens drink and recommending, a good greens drink. A lot of people aren't getting enough, good healthy proteins, especially after their workouts. So that's your opportunity to sell them like a protein shake or some kind of protein supplement. And the other thing that a lot of people are missing are, healthy fats. So that's a good chance for you to sell them, the fish oils, the krill oil, or whatever. So that's how you make money off of it. You offer for free on the front end as a value add. It's a huge value add, because they're going to pay, $30 to $50, a consultation anywhere else. You're giving it to them absolutely free. And by selling them the supplements on the back end, you're going to make a residual, income off of the supplements. Just off those 3, a greens drink, or a multivitamin, protein supplement, and a krill oil, you're going to profit about $30 a month per client that's on it. Now, before, what we used to do is we'd have them fill out a form giving us permission to order the supplements for them, and then we'd send it to their house, and we'd get it on recurring revenue, so that way we'd get paid every month. The problem with that was, it worked great. We made a lot of money, but the problem with that was that we didn't know when they would quit. And then 3 or 4 months would go by, and then they would stop getting results again, and they'd come back in and be like, well, how are the supplements going? Oh, I kind of got behind on taking them, so I canceled it, and I haven't really been taking them. So then we have them start all over again. So only thing that we did is we have them fill out the same form, giving us permission to order the supplements on their behalf, and then we have them shipped to our gym. And the reason we did that, because now when their package comes in, after the end of their workout, we're like, hey, so-and-so, your package, your supplements are here. We hand them a package, and they feel really good because they got something in the mail, they got it at your gym. Everybody else is asking them, hey, what's that? And then they tell them what they're taking, tell them what results they're getting. So it's free advertisement for your supplements that you're selling. And then other people are going to ask you how they can buy them too. And then you'll also know, because you'll have a list of everybody who's supposed to be getting a package that month. If their package doesn't come in, you'll know that they canceled it. And then you can be like, hey, your package didn't come in this month. What's going on? Did you cancel it? And they say yes, then you can kind of see where they're at with everything and get them back on right away, rather than letting those 2, 3, or 4 months go by before you figure it out. So if you're going to follow that method of at the consultation, having them fill out the form that gives you permission to order it on their behalf, just have it shipped to your gym so you can just hand them the package when it comes in at your boot camp or at your gym at the end of their workout. It's going to help you sell more, and it's also going to let you know when they're not taking the supplements anymore, and you're going to make more money that way. So that's how you can easily and simply incorporate a nutrition program into your fitness program. So the second question is, this person wants to know, they found a location for their studio. They want to know how to go about negotiating the lease and securing the location and the price. So if this is your first location and you're trying to find a good location and you're trying to secure the lease, so securing a lease or location. So you don't want to get too attached to the first location. It's like when you're buying a house, don't ever get emotionally attached to the first one, because if you do, you're going to get the worst deal, and if you don't get it, you're going to be devastated. So first of all, don't get too attached. So what you want to do is find all the potential locations. So find all the potential locations in your area and go visit all of them. Talk to the landlords, see what they're willing to offer. Get to know everything that's out there, so you have options. Even if you know that one is above all the other ones, still go look at the other ones. Tell them what your business is. The owner is going to ask you questions, or the leasing company is going to ask you questions, and that you might not be prepared for. So if you go to ones that you don't really care if you get or not, and they ask and you stumble through the answers and you can't get them what they want, and they tell you that you're not qualified or you can't get it, then it's no big deal because you didn't really want that location anyway. But now you know because then you get back in the car, you're like, oh man, I wish I would have said this, or I wish I would have said that. Or you can go and get the information that they wanted and have it ready. So that way, when you finally go into the one that you actually do want, and they ask the same questions, you're like, oh yeah, I have it right here. And they're going to be really impressed with you, and it's going to give you some negotiating power. So make sure you go into all the locations, find out what they're willing to give, what they're not. That way you can also use that information against the owner of the one that you actually want. So like when you actually go to negotiate the lease with the one that you want, you can say, well, so-and-so down the street was willing to do X, Y, Z for me. Are you willing to do that too? Because most people that have a place that's for lease know all the other places that have for lease, know their competition. So when you start calling out the addresses and even the companies or the people that you've talked to, they know that you've done your homework and they know that you're serious, and they'll take you more seriously. The other thing too is, like, when you're negotiating, never accept anything. If you ask for like a 90-day ramp up time and they say, no, we can't do that. Okay, that's fine. No, don't ever just accept anything. And then what you're going to say is like, okay, well, if I can't get the 90-day ramp-up time, the only way that's going to work is if I can get a shorter lease. Because if they were asking for like a 5-year lease, you only wanted a 2-year lease because you might outgrow it in 2 years. You might be like, well, if I can't get the 90 days, can I at least get the 2 years? That way you're getting something you're giving something for something in exchange. Never just give them something for nothing. You know what I mean? So, and I like the ramp-up time better than the length, because especially if you know that the place is big enough that you're not going to outgrow it in 2 years, then 5-year lease is fine. So don't worry, 5 years goes really, really fast. I know if it's your first time, 5 years seems like forever, and what happens if you fail or whatever. I know it can be scary, but in most states, most places, if you were to fail, even though if you follow all of our stuff, that's not going to happen, and then don't let that get into your head. But just to say you did fail, most states aren't going to make you pay out the rent for the next 5 years. It's just not practical, because the owner of the building, that's more than enough time for them to find another person to rent it. So the only thing that you're probably going to have to pay is whatever the judge thinks is an acceptable amount of time for them to find another person to rent. Sometimes that's 6 months, 9 months, but it's not going to be 5 years. So don't get too worried, about that. And if you don't have the money or if you don't own a home or anything like that, there's not much really they can do, to you to get the money out of you. So it's not that big of a deal. A lot of times if it's your first time, they're going to try to ask to personally guarantee it. And you're probably going to have to your first time. That's not a big deal either. Just go ahead and personally guarantee it. If you do own a home and stuff like that, then try to not personally guarantee it, because then they could put a lien on your house, stuff like that, if you don't pay. But if you don't own a house or anything like that, then personal guarantee doesn't really mean much anyway. So go ahead and just give them a personal guarantee. So when you're asking, for me, the most important thing is the ramp up time. So I always ask for more than what I want. And depending on how much demolition and stuff you have to do, if you walk in, this is like a shell, and all you have to do is paint the walls and put some flooring down and you're ready to go, then they're probably not going to give you a ton of ramp up time. But the one that I went into, my last building that I got, it had like a bunch of different offices and walls, and we had to knock down, we had to do a lot. And I asked them to do the demolition and just give me an open shell. And then if they did that, then I'd only need 90 days ramp up time in it. But if I had to do the demolition, then I actually wanted 6 months. And they actually went for the 6 months. So they gave me 6 months. That way they didn't have to worry about the demolition or anything like that. And they didn't have to pay for any of that. So all that was on me. And me and my brothers, we went in there and did all the work ourselves that time. So it was a lot of work, but it saved us a ton of money, and we had 6 months of ramp up time. We got that thing ready to go in 2 months. We had 4 months of rent free to build up our business before we actually had to start, paying the rent. So you want to really get creative and figure out a way that you can get as much ramp up time as possible. And again, it's going to be giving them something for it. You can't just go in and ask for 6 months without a reason. So if there needs to be a lot of demolition done, I would go in there asking them to do the demolition, or say if I have to pay for it and I have to do it, then I'm going to need this much time. So you see what I mean? It's always a give and take in negotiating, and don't be afraid to ask for too much, because you're always going to settle for a little bit less, unless you get lucky. When you're dealing with business or building owners, try to find ones that have one old timer used to be a business owner and bought the building that his business was in. Somebody that was an entrepreneur that can kind of see themselves in you, that's going to give you a chance. They're going to be more willing to negotiate with you. If it's like a big management company, and they're probably not going to negotiate at all. They're probably going to, this is what it is. If you don't want it, go find something else. It's really hard to negotiate with companies like that. And companies like that don't like to rent to like a small fitness place or a gym. They look at it as high risk, that you're not going to be around for a long time, because the barrier to entry is really low. You're not putting a ton of money into it. So, and if you don't have a proven track record, it's going to be a lot of risk on them. So go try to find a building or a location that has like an individual owner, it's family owned, something like that. It's going to be a lot easier to negotiate with them. And again, one of the biggest things is going asking for 2 years, even though 5 years is totally fine, but keep that in your back pocket. So if they're like, no, we really need a 5-year lease, I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable doing a 5-year lease if I can get the 90 days of ramp up time or whatever that they said no to before, and try to go back and forth that way. Even though you're fine with the 5 years, anyway, don't let them know that. Go in there with asking for like a year lease, and then go to 2, maybe to 5, and then ask for multiple year add-ons. So that way they can't double the price when their time is up. A lot of people will get a 5-year lease, and then they'll get like a 1-year add-on. So that way it just goes up whatever the percentage is, 6% or 5% or whatever it is each year. But I would ask for like 10 1-year add-ons, something like that. So that way, if say they build up a lot of businesses around that area, the place is booming in the next 6 years, 7 years, your lease is up, you were paying like $3,000, now the going rate's like $6,000. They can't just come to you and be like, hey, we're not going to renew the lease at the same rate. It's going to be $6,000, because if we got a new tenant, that's how much it would be. So you want to make sure you prepare for that and get like a 2-year lease or a 5-year lease with like 10 1-year add-ons at the same deal. And that's pretty much it. Just some key takeaways is to make sure you go into every potential location, and talk to the owners. Act like you're serious about those locations. See what questions they ask. Stumble through it. Go to the one you want last. That way you're prepared. You know what questions they're going to ask. You know what you wish you would have said to the other person. You already have whatever documents the other people were asking for in your hand, so the guy thinks you're serious and you have your stuff together. That's some of the most important things. Make sure that you're not taking no for an answer without asking for something in return in exchange for the no. Like, okay, that's fine if this can happen. That's one of the key things with negotiating, is never say, okay, never accept what they say without asking for something in return, because they can't say no to everything. They have to work with you to some degree. And that's pretty much it. You follow that and you will secure a great location and you'll be well on your way to building your fitness business. And the last question for this week is they want to know, how do you frame a special or a promotion for only non-members or new clients without upsetting your current members? So first of all, we don't call them specials or promos. They are trial memberships. Which at this point, 99.9% of all boutique style gyms, boot camps have trial memberships, so it's not really a big deal. But if you've grown your business over the last year, 2 years or whatever, and you've had people do like a free workout and then right into your regular paid memberships, as soon as you do like a Groupon or a 21 days for $21, something like that, they're going to be upset because they didn't get it when they joined. And that's going to happen. And you just have to let them know, like, hey, you're getting great results. And, this is just a trial membership. We just started doing this. We can help grow our business and help more people in the community. And eventually they'll get over it. Then some people might get upset and quit or whatever. You just have to get past that point. Once the majority of people coming through have come through a trial membership, it's no big deal because they came through something. Just because they picked the 21 days or $21 and not the 6 weeks for $197 or whatever, doesn't matter. They know they came through a trial membership, and it's not going to be a big deal. But the transition time of when you haven't done trial memberships or promos to doing them, that's when it's going to be a problem. So what you can do is offer your members a referral fee. So if they get people into the trial membership, I would give them whatever they paid. So if you're doing 21 days for $67, then I would take $67 off the person's membership that month that referred them. And then if they join, then I would take half off their next month. So if the person actually joined after the 21 days, not only did they get $67 off the month during the trial, they would get like $100. If you did $197, they would get $100 off their next month. Because it's a free lead, it's a free customer for you, and it's going to make them happy, and it's actually a better deal for the member. So you have to work with them. So like cool, if you know anybody that would like to do the trial membership, bring them in, and 100% of what they pay for the trial, I'll take that off of your membership, and then if they join, I'll actually give you half off your month after that. So that's a way better deal, for them than just doing 21 days for $67 or even $21. So I would do that. That's the main way you're going to keep them happy, is put it back on them. They're coming to you like, hey, I didn't get a chance to do a trial membership. Oh, no big deal. You're already into our program. You're getting great results. It's going to be easy for you to like bring your friends and family in. You're awesome. I'm sure you have awesome friends too. Just bring them in on the trial membership, and I'll apply their trial membership fee to your membership. And then if they join after their trial membership, I'll give you half off your next month after that. And it's way better. They can't argue with that. Now it's on them to go out and do the work and bring somebody in. That's the easiest way to diffuse that. And again, once you have more than half your members coming through trial memberships into your program, it won't even be an issue, won't even be a problem. So just do that for your trial, call them trial memberships. Don't call them specials or promotions or anything like that anymore. Everything's a trial membership, from Groupons to Living Social to a 14-day fat furnace, a 21-day rapid fat loss program, to your 6-month transformation challenges, all that stuff. They're all trial memberships. If you want to do a contest or a challenge with your entire gym, then call it a challenge, and then charge your members the same that you charge everybody else, and then give away prizes and stuff like that. So that's it for promos. Just call them trial memberships, and you'll be good to go. And that's it for this week. So thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.